All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the January 27th Board of County Commissioners meeting. We'll call this meeting to order, and will you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first thing on our agenda are approval of our minutes. Gentlemen, do we have any additions or corrections?
I do not.
Okay.
No. I move to approve the proceedings of the Board of County Commissioners from Montezuma County held on Tuesday, January 20th, 2026, as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proceedings of the Board of Commissioners, Montezuma County for January 20th, 2026. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, planning, come on down. Do we have the applicants in the boardroom? All right, this being the time set aside for a public hearing, would you call the roll, please, Kim?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsay.
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney Tarnowski.
Here.
And Kim Purcell, County Clerk. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for a review and determination regarding a proposed high-impact permit application submitted by Country Style Investments, LLC, agent Kevin Rice, on property located at 7500 Highway 160-491, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 9.60 acres, more or less, east of Highway 160-491, north of Road G3, situated in Section 3, Township 35 North, Range 16 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, January 27, 2026, at 9 a.m. in the Commissioner's Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the planning office online services at https://co-monezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the planning department at 970-565-3801 with questions. Dated this 12th day of January 2026, Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado. Published in the Journal on Wednesday, January 14th, 2026.
All right, thank you, Kim.
Real
Okay,
quick,
Don.
Commissioner, she's going to go upload the actual file.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, apparently it's not on plan, Chair.
yeah. 'cause
I'll
this
give
is-
you a little
Overview?
background on it.
Okay,
So this used to be AAA storage prior to the land use code. So it does have the letter permit that Travis has there on the board. For the storage operation that was issued in 2000. So then it was sold, and Country Style Investments, Kevin Rice is the owner. They purchased this in late 2017, first part of 2018. He came in to add more storage buildings, and so they did go through the public hearing process. He was approved to add 4 more storage units. Unfortunately, there was not a actual high impact permit document created, and nothing was recorded other than the approval through the BOCC meeting minutes. Then during the course of 2018, they were also starting to sell used cars, tractors, trailers, four-wheelers, and their yard sales consisted of selling stuff out of the storage units for people that failed to pay. So he came back in and amended what is the existing letter permit again the end of 2018, and that was to include the sales of those other items. And again, no high-impact permit document was created. The only thing that got recorded was the public notice with the handwritten note that BOCC had approved it. So the documentation trail on this has not been good, but he's gone through the process. Then in 23, he built the southeast storage garage shop. And so now he's wanting to amend the high impact permit to cover that unit. And with that application, requesting reduced setbacks to the east property line and the south property line for the location of that. And we have a non-opposition letter from City of Cortez to the east and Danny Glenn there to the south. They have no opposition as to the reduced setbacks.
So it would be the, it would be the building that's looking at the screen to the
Yeah, the bottom right corner.
bottom right corner?
All the other ones went through the process in 2018. The
So
only
this-
thing that didn't get covered in the discussion in 2018, when it went to P&Z for selling the used cars, was P&Z condition was to include tractors and trailers. That did not go to the BOCC in a change or amended public notice, but we would like to cover that as well, just because that's what's been happening ever since it went through 2018.
So in 2018, the high impact permit was not really executed.
No, it
But-
just was amending the given letter permit of the operation in 2000.
Of the storage units,
Correct.
which, I mean, you've been selling
Which-
cars or tractors or whatever implements down there since that point in time, basically 2018.
Correct.
Again, here are my standard questions. Access with CDOT, obviously it's happening right now, so I
They are
Did you
fine,
have
it
any-
is permitted, no required changes, for the current use. Any additional expansion, if he has to amend the high impact permit again, then they would review it again in the future.
So this is just because we fell down on the job and didn't really get the high impact?
Well,
permit
everything's
recorded, or-
covered except that southeast building. That has not been covered under
Okay.
the commissioners.
So with the high impact permit, that would be covered?
Right, as well as encompass all the past history. And they have an actual searchable recorded document in the clerk's office. Right now, all that you have, because the letter permits from 2000, those are not recorded. They only exist in our office in a file drawer.
And that would only state for the actual storage units themselves?
Yeah,
at that
the
point in
two and a
time?
half buildings that were there at the time. So we would just wrap up the whole property and get that new high-impact permit recorded and documented, along with these maps and all the different meetings and approvals documented.
Okay.
But yeah, the setbacks are part of this application in the amended high impact permit to reduce those minimum setbacks.
In a commercial zone? This is all commercial?
It's
property,
heavy
right?
industrial zoned.
Or heavy industrial?
Correct.
Questions, gentlemen? Before I open this up?
How close is that building to the property line?
25 feet.
Which is gonna be my next question, because this almost looks like a variance instead of a high impact, but we're rolling it into one.
So the building expansion itself triggers amending the high impact permit, letter permit.
but we didn't have it. So that's what we're going. As commercial and industrial, what are the setbacks?
Commercial to commercial is 25 feet. I mean, or commercial to industrial is 25 feet. Commercial to residential, or industrial to residential is 50 feet.
And these are all commercial properties then?
So
Glenn?
to the east, the city of Cortez is residential. It's, the previous owner exempted that off, created that. It's like 1.4 acre lot, and it was given to the city. Another one of those convoluted things. To the south, that guy has his own trucking storage business. He's actually zoned AR, but I mean, it's basically used as an industrial property. And neither one of them have a problem with the reduced setbacks.
So the 25 feet, we're still compliant to the east? Or that's where the real hiccup is at, to the east?
To the
On
east
south.
is a AR zoned, AR 3 to 9. But the only access is through
Through this.
Kevin's storage unit
Yeah.
facility.
Yeah, can you access it off of G3
There
all
is
the way
no-
around by the
There's no other access except through the,
complex? There's nothing there.
no. You can be like the other people that come up out of the canyon and sleep there, but it's not accessible other than through the whole business operation. And Kevin may be buying that from the city because the city didn't even know they had it, but that's not for us to, because of the situation, it would make more sense if he owned that as well and just combined it all, because
That
it's
makes
one of
sense.
those deals that
It's a
happened in
pretty much a
2000. and-
useless piece of property right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, right on the west border of that city property is the sanitation district's utility easement.
Mm.
So you have the power line easement on the northeast, and then you have the sand district on the west. And both of those are like, power line, I think, is 100 foot wide, and the sand district's like 60 foot wide, so it's,
I think why Benny probably donated it. or-
that's why he got rid of it, so it wasn't
Yeah, it's-
on his tax bill, and it's basically utilities, and the city accepted it. I think that was probably back to when the city had the sand district and the landfill, and the county had some before it all got split up, but maybe not.
Okay. All right, would you like to add anything else? Kevin?
Nope, that covered it, I think.
Okay. All right, any questions before I open this up?
No.
All right, well then I'll open this application up for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against the application, come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and you may address the board at this time. All right, seeing no public comment, I'll close the public comment session of this application, and I will bring it back to the commissioners, gentlemen.
I have nothing further, Gary.
Okay.
Well, I don't think it's a problem. I just wondering how to word that so that we get the setbacks back off of there with the high impact permit. Is there a certain way we need to do that?
You throw a variance in there?
I don't think it's a variance at this time.
Yeah, Commissioners, I think the way to think about this, and Don, I'm happy to be corrected if this is not how you understand it, but, the setbacks are really part of the threshold standards in our land use code, and one of the, really the main purpose of the high impact permit is to allow certain commercial or industrial uses to exceed those threshold standards if they don't cause significant impacts. So that's why I don't think it needs to be a variance, because the board has the power to allow people to exceed certain threshold standards through this high impact process. So if you're issuing the high impact permit, part of the motion, I think, would need to be to allow this, landowner to exceed the threshold standards on the east and south sides of the property to the extent that they're currently exceeded.
Correct. And that exceedance was in the application, that those setbacks are being requested to be reduced.
Okay,
I'll try.
give it a shot.
I think I'll bring it down too.
Kent just says so moved.
Yeah, so moved. I move to approve this proposed high-impact permit application submitted by Country Style Investments LLC agent Kevin Rice on property located at 7500 Highway 16491, Cortez, Colorado, allowing for the setbacks to be exceeded in the south, to the southeast corner and the eastern part of the property.
As presented. Second.
Okay, here's my stab at it.
Okay.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed high-impact permit application submitted by Country Style Investments LLC, agent Kevin Rice, located on property 7500 Highway 16491, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 9.6 acres more or less, with the exception to exceed the threshold standard to the east and the south of the property of the currently located structure.
Close enough.
I'm looking at my nod over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that
Is there
does
any further
it.
discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. There you go, sir.
Yes.
I would highly recommend that you work with the city to capture that piece of property. It would really do a lot.
Yeah.
And it's really of no use to anybody but you.
Exactly, and it's
So-
not really much for me with all the easements, but yeah, we're working with Jason on it, so.
Perfect.
Maybe in 2 years when they figure out that they own it and stuff, we'll get her done.
Well, it seems like we've done a lot of cleanup. We've cleaned up little pieces of pies for us that
Yep.
we really didn't know that we had.
Exactly.
So, not making excuses, but at least our documentation this time will be better and it'll be correct for us.
Exactly.
So,
Yep,
with that, you are approved, and I'll close the public hearing.
cool, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yep, appreciate it, guys.
You bet.
Okay. What else do you have for us?
Then we have the Mylar to be signed for Cody Maxwell for his major subdivision on the Weyand property.
Okay. Roll it out.
You're gonna need the executive session today?
Can we use that too, since it's on there?
You can move for session about executive session.
To plan one.
Yeah.
That's all we have on our agenda today.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. All right.
Could do the consent agenda.
We will. We'll move right straight to our consent agenda. Moving around in our agenda a little bit today. Gentlemen, do you have anything that you would like to pull off? Or do you want, are you good with the consent as presented?
No. It's just 2 items. I would so move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the consent agenda with the 2 items as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. We actually have one we could probably discuss. We've got enough time. One individual item needing consideration. We did have a presentation yesterday from Magellan Strategies, along with 2 other companies that they work with, as far as an education campaign. As we move forward with the conversation of putting a sales tax ballot back on the docket for a sales tax vote in November. So if you haven't seen it, it was recorded yesterday. You can go back and view that on YouTube. It was about an hour long is all. So there was a lot of conversation, presentation back and forth. So if you're interested, you can go back and view that. With that, our discussion, gentlemen, what are your thoughts?
I'd like to proceed with them, just to get baseline services.
So I had wrote down 15, which would be 14.5 for the interviews, 15 for the public alignment services, and then 15.5, which would then equal to 15. So I wrote down the 45,000 total for all 3, which is actually what that adds up to.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you're proposing right there.
Yes.
So, okay, Commissioner?
Gerald?
I agree. It's fine.
Okay.
Do it.
Again, this is just to help educate our public, because again, like I said yesterday, at our town hall meeting, I'm more and more amazed of how people really do not understand government, what we are doing, what we're trying to survive on. Montezuma County is still one of the only few counties in this region that does not have a sales tax, and if we don't start taking care of ourselves with the feds, which you all heard last night, cutting their funding, and the state cutting their funding, if we don't take care of ourselves, we're not going to get anywhere. So that's the reality of it. You don't have to like it, but I would agree with this proposal. So,
Commissioners, I would just chime in here. At this time, I would recommend the board that doing that initial interview section with Magellan Strategies, and maybe hold off on the public alignment campaign and the services offered by advocacy marketing, because I think for those to happen, you need the information from Magellan Strategies, as I understood it. And I would like the opportunity to do a little more research on what the restrictions for public bodies are for some of this work, because my surface level understanding is there are potentially some restrictions, particularly on this third set of services that you're discussing. And so I would be more comfortable if I had more time to look into that before the board enters into that agreement. And I think it's not really ripe anyway, given that the information needs to be collected in the surveys before that other work can be done.
comments, I guess, what's the concern?
The concern is it's possible that the board as a public body might not be allowed to do some of the some of the outreach essentially ultimately, or support specifically for an eventual ballot measure. And I don't have as good of an understanding of that
And I-
right now as I would like to have before I recommend that you enter into that agreement.
And I don't have any issues with waiting, but after looking at the statute, because of what we were under the impression of last time, actually, the education components of all of this, it can be brought forth in this fashion and manner. So I think we were under a different mindset last time, and we didn't do any outreach. We didn't, well, we did do some, but it wasn't to the extent of what we actually can do. So I don't have any issues waiting with that, but I don't see any reason to not approve it, with the exception of it if it does not qualify under your concerns or needs, then we can pull that off the table.
Is it possible that we can just allocate that
Allocate the
maximum
funds.
I would say
funding?
we
'Cause
allocate it.
when I look through here, there's no signature entering into a contract. This is just their proposal. And if we decide that there might be something that Stephen finds out later on, we don't have to expend those funds, obviously, but if we make those allocations,
I guess that's,
Yeah.
Does
that
that
was
make
my
sense?
proposal.
That-
The allocation will be made for the entire body today.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that we're going to move forward with component 2 or component 3 until we get component 1 done. That way we know which direction we're gonna actually head. But this way, the allocation has been made.
Okay. I think with this record and with the clarification that we're just allocating the funds and we're not actually entering into the agreements at this time, I don't have a
Yeah.
problem with that.
yeah, and so what I could do is reach out to Magellan and just have that agreement just specifically for that one section. And then as we move forward, then we can have the other agreements presented, if that works.
Yeah. I'm comfortable with that framework.
Okay? Then I
would so move, we proceed with allocating the funds for Magellan Strategies and using it in a phased approach with the survey being number one. And we'll go from, it's not a proper way to put it, but we'll go from there.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded to accept the Magellan Strategies proposal for the sales tax ballot measure education campaign and allocating $45,000. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. It is now, I don't,
We got a couple minutes yet, huh?
buddy. Okay. That one's done. We still have a couple minutes before a continuation of this. I guess I'll jump back up to public comment. Do I have any public comment? Okay, I'll have no public comment. You guys aren't helping me out here. I'm trying to kill a couple minutes.
Where's Alan when you need him?
All right, I'll go straight to a county attorney's report.
Commissioners, I don't have too much new stuff to report this week. I've kind of been working on the same set of issues for a few weeks now, so I'm hoping to get some of that stuff out the door, off my plate, so to speak, this week, talking about some of those new land use code violation cases we've been working on, and then continuing to work with some of our departments on some different issues. You know, some HR type questions came up over the last week. Continue to work with the public health department quite a bit. We also opened up our first child welfare case of the year towards the end of last week. So nothing really new to report. Hoping to make some more progress on those issues.
Okay. All right, with that, I am going to bring down my public health department because my clock here says that I can get started. Do we have the recipient of this?
So I did remind him. And I have not seen him yet, although it is 9:30 right now. I would like to mention that last week, when he did appear, he did mention that,
So.
oh, sorry.
That was all I
So we'll
needed
wait.
before I
Okay.
go ahead and
Yes, sorry.
reopen this public hearing.
Yes.
So that we can then have it on record.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, do I need to call the roll again? This is just a continuation.
I think we just need to announce that we're
Okay.
opening up the public hearing.
So then I will then publicly announce that we are reopening the public hearing that we started from last week. And we are recessing as the Board of County Commissioners, and we are reconvening as the Board of Health. So these actions today will be taking place under the Board of Health. So with that, go ahead and you can present your findings and give us the actions forward.
So I'll just introduce myself, Linda Hill, Environmental Health for the Public Health Department. I did reach out to Mr. Delbert Montgomery to remind him of the meeting, and I didn't receive a response back, but I will say that last week he did mention that he has challenges with travel. Like, he doesn't have a driver's license, doesn't have a vehicle. So I will remind everyone that he did mention that, so. And then, do you want me to go ahead and give you an update of where? So after our Board of Health meeting last week, we scheduled a site visit with Mr. Montgomery the following day, and Bobby Locke and myself went and did the site visit, and I will say I was pleasantly surprised to not see any kind of human waste on the ground at all. He does have a septic system that is not engineered. I saw no signs of failure of that septic system. So I'll say I'll take that as a good. We did observe that he was discharging gray water onto the ground, and I told him that he would need to stop immediately and tie it into his septic system. And as of yesterday, he did show me documentation that he has done that. He took pictures and texted it to me. So I was happy to see that he did respond to that request. However, I will say his septic system is not engineered. We did tell him that he will need to get it engineered and installed and permitted. And I will also like to mention that in order for him to get his septic permitted, he will also have to pay his road impact fees. And so that's like a separate department from myself. And he does have 2 residences because he has his mobile and the RV.
Okay.
Is the
So
RV
he's-
actually hooked up to the septic?
No.
I think,
No.
hold on. I think we can,
Is that-
come on down, sir.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good, how are you?
I'm sorry.
So, Delbert, I was just giving them an update of our site visit and how you were very cooperative. We didn't see any sign of any kind of human waste on the ground whatsoever. And that your septic system appeared to be working and no problems at all. We did note that you were discharging gray water onto the ground. We talked to you about that. You sent me pictures, you repaired it, and you've redirected it to the septic system. So that's just kind of what we've been talking about so far.
Okay. So, Mr. Montgomery, whenever you speak, I'm going to ask you to pull that microphone close to you so that we can get everything recorded properly. And then we'll
Yes, you are.
move forward. So what are your recommendations at this time?
He definitely needs to get an engineering design septic system and then get it permitted. But again, like I mentioned, in order to get it permitted, he'll have to pay his road impact fees, which is through planning and zoning and not me. But I do require that those fees are paid prior to getting it permitted.
Okay. And you had that conversation, Mr. Montgomery, last week with planning, So you're aware that you have 2 residents that are there?
Yeah, and I'm like, I'll get it up right now.
You bet.
Sir, can you,
I'm trying to interrupt.
You need to
Mike,
get closer to the mic, though.
Oh, sorry. So, I'll give you an example of how some of this happens to me. I understand that a homeowner should know all these things, and sometimes if you don't know, you just don't know what to ask, how to ask, what questions to ask. If you ask the right things, you get the right answers to the right people, right? But when you buy property, there is no list given to you. And, you know, I've installed stuff before, installed gray water on brand new houses, never heard nothing, never saw nothing with their, no permit problems or anything. So I thought it was okay, right? Not a big deal, but I can fix all that kind of stuff. I remember a while back, called the planning department or somebody, I was questioning what options I had with the property, like whether I could put in an RV park, try and zone it for commercial, whether I could have a guest home, if I could build 2 homes. And I was told, no, I can only have 1 dwelling. And I'm like, okay. And I've told people this all along. I figure I'm playing by the rules. I was told, no, I cannot have a second dwelling. And then I just learned this. Say, I'm not given any stuff when I bought it to go by. I hear what I'm told when I call to ask questions. I'm told, no, I cannot do it. And then I come into here, and I'm told, yes, I can do it, but I gotta pay an additional $1,400. And yes, I can have a second dwelling. I'm like, first of all, I didn't even know that a camper sitting on a property only hooked up to power would be considered essentially a home. And we're talking about people who just needed a place to go, who have moved like 8 times in the last year or so. And they're on the verge of being kicked out by me because they got solid income, Social Security. There's 2 people, they got over $2,000 in income. They've already paid on the 1st of the month the appropriate amount on time. They're perfectly capable of paying every month on time. We're at the end of the month and I haven't received nothing from either one of them. I'm dealing with this all the time.
Right.
I am ready to kick them out already. I've told them
So,
at the end of the month, eviction, if they don't pay on time or get it paid, and next month, I need them to pay on time.
so here, let me
But-
address that
so-
for you,
so-
Mr. Montgomery.
So, real quick, I'm just like, should I kick them out to avoid the fee? Is it even possible to avoid the fee if I kick them out? Or am I stuck with it? I don't even know where I'm gonna stand with
So-
this additional 1,400.
So let me address that for you real quick, because it's very straightforward, simple, and easy. The way the land use code is written right now, and the way it's been in effect since I've been up here, is that you can have a second dwelling on your home.
So that's
Okay.
why
So-
did they tell me no when I asked?
I'm not sure who they was, but our planning department would not have told you that. You can have 2 dwellings on your residence.
So I just-
However-
I believe in God, and I swear to God all my life. That's
Okay,
what I was
so
told.
if you want to keep 2 dwellings on your residence, that's perfectly fine, it's acceptable, it's permissible. However, you are going to be equal with everybody else in this county, and you are going to pay 2 road impact fees. So that's $1,400 plus the mileage, the cost per mileage, which you're basically right on the highway. So the planning department will give you that number. If you choose to do whatever you're gonna do on your property and not use that as a dwelling, that's 100% up to you. But if it is being used as a dwelling, it also has to comply with the regulations of the state and the county that have been set forth for many, many years. And you have to have an operating engineered septic system, which you currently do not have on either dwelling. So you're faced with decisions, we're faced with the decision. The decision for us today is, 1, we have to get you in compliance with the dwelling that you are utilizing for your residence. That's option number 1. If you're going to keep the ADU, we are going to give you that option also. You are going to have to pay those fees. So,
What is ADU?
an auxiliary dwelling unit, which is a second home, which is what you're using your RV for. okay? You're renting it out, you're providing space for somebody, you're bringing money in for that. That's your business, not our business. We just have to make sure that it's compliant, because we're protecting the environmental health of the entire county, okay? Your choice. You can have it, you don't have to have it. Totally 100% up to you. So I'm gonna ask you to go back to number one, because the first issue that we have to address is, how long is it gonna take you to become compliant? We're willing to work with you, but I'm not willing to work into perpetuity to give you time to get this resolved. So how long is it gonna take you to pay your impact fee, your dwelling there? And how long is it gonna take for you to get your septic system permitted and installed properly?
The easiest thing for me to do is go to work. Just start driving without a license again. Because it's so much easier to pay everything on my own.
I would caution you on saying that at a public hearing.
I understand. It just seems like it's easy, because it was easier, and man, everything tickets get rough. I've always been good about paying them. Now my fines have gone to collections at the first time. $4,400 for my interlock, $1,300 for Utah, $200 Cortez fine, $5,000 plus for septic, $2,800 for road impact. Still need my $500 for last year's property tax. My mortgage is still not been, or renters still haven't paid for last month. I'm wondering if I kick them out, maybe I could, and don't bring them back, don't let nobody in. Maybe I can avoid the $1,400.
You can't avoid that $1,400. If you're not using a second dwelling there,
Whether I
you're
keep
not
them.
gonna be charged that. But you have to then
I
not
do.
be occupying it.
Right. Correct.
So let's go back. Let's focus on just one thing. How much time do you need before you can pay this fee, this thing installed properly? Because I have to look at the entire health of the entire county, and it was very loud at a meeting that we held last Monday night. And I'm going to represent everybody. You two are equal, so you have to be equal to everybody else. That's the world that we live in.
I'm afraid I'm going to say this. Oh, I feel against the wall.
We're not shutting you down.
The way-
I don't think that's the
way-
intent here.
I'm answering your question the best I can. I'm just going to be honest. I'm working on trying to get these changes made. I've been trying to get a car lined out so I can get my license and stuff. Offering people free rent just to drive me, get me to work, so I can go get a job, take me to work from home, agreements like that. As it stands away, because I don't have a job, and I'm totally dependent on renters just to keep me floating, I've only got 13, April next year I'm paid off on the property. The easiest for me is if I don't change nothing and keep renters, just to sustain. When the property is paid off, then it's really easy, even if I'm not working, that I take their rent. I'm actually bringing in more stable renters now, just the last few days. You guys got $2,500 a month.
So again, I'm going to bring you back, Mr.
So,
Montgomery. I'm
with all
not
this,
focused on
about-
what your situation is here. I've just got to
I'm
focus
trying- Can
on,
I give you a date, roughly?
I need a date.
That's what I'm working on here in my head.
Give me a date.
I gotta think this out of the top, I'm sorry. April, I'm gonna say, adding up 5,000. And, basically, say 1 year, I'm talking about, after I get it paid off, so April of '28, I would think I could pull it all off in my position.
April of '28 is 2
Like
years, sir.
1 year, right, and 1 year after I have paid off the property, if I am in the position I am, where I'm just collecting the rent, collecting it to use it to pay for all this, that seems like, that's probably about the longest it would take me. Sometime between then and now. I can't guess that a date like that with these kind of numbers to work with, no job, no license, no car.
Okay,
How do I-
so
how do
let
I
me,
figure
let
that
me,
out?
let me turn this around, and I'm gonna tell you a story that I am faced
I
with,
mean, they
is that
also
we're
have-
protecting the entire county and the public health
My
of the
income-
entire
my
county.
income is my rent.
So I am not willing to personally, I have two people sitting beside me, to go for 2 years down the road. I'm not willing to accept that at all, because I think we would be remiss in our duties to allow that.
Okay,
Um,
so then
the-
I have to go with what you give me then.
Well, I want to work with you. Trust me, I want to work with you because I want this property cleaned up. I think we've all kind of come to that conclusion, and it's for the benefit of all of your neighbors out there, and you're actually hurting your neighbors. Your neighbors came to us and they were very vocal, very loud, and we see that. We've done the inspection now. The system is not failing that you have. I'm willing to work with you and give you a little bit of time, but I'm not willing to give you 2 years, because that's not acceptable, and it's not acceptable to anybody else in this community. So I think within reason,
I'm totally planning on doing it regardless. I mean, I've been there for 6.5 years.
yeah, and that, there again,
I
that's my
understand.
question,
I
is why
understand what
wasn't
you're
it done properly in the first time? You
Uh,
can't answer that right now, so I'm gonna give
lack
you a
of
time frame.
information.
Gentlemen, what do you think is,
I mean, lack of
is
information
October acceptable? Would that give you 6 months, we get through the summer? That gives you time to go get aggressive, get a job, and get to work?
Sure, do everything I can, I know, I promise.
Well, at the end of the day, if you don't,
Let me ask, what happens if I'm not able to meet your deadline? That's what I wonder.
then we will
How-
have another public hearing at that point in time. I can tell you where I would probably be on it, on the decision, but it's a decision of 3. We're gonna shut you down. Or at least my opinion would be, we're shutting you down.
What do you mean by it?
You are not going to dwell there. You have paid no impact fees. You are impacting our roads.
off of the property.
You have not complied with the public health department. You are putting, although we did not have any waste on the ground, you are still putting trash on the ground, which is an environmental concern, which we're going to address that next. So is October suitable?
October is suitable to be finished,
Yes.
but I want to see progress in 90 days. I want to see contact with an engineer and at least an inspection.
Session for the engineer,
For the septic system,
for the
So like LePew,
drawing.
yes.
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 LePew can inspect what's
Right.
currently in place. We're
Yeah.
not shutting that down, and we're giving you until October to actually get the permit, pay your road impact fees, and to get an engineered system installed by October. We are just now in January, so you got February, March, April, May, June, July, August. We're giving you 7 months. Okay, is that, are you,
Yeah, that's
Can you
fine.
deal
I
with
mean,
that?
Is it
yes.
possible that I put the place up for sale?
you can put any of your property up for sale at any time. That's a decision
So-
you have to make, not us.
I wonder why was he, because I keep hearing that I could even sell the place without putting the system in. And I wonder how he sells it to me without putting the system in the first place. Just
We
how-
don't have transfer of title in the county,
Yeah,
so.
there is no transfer of title, so yeah, he can sell it. You can sell it tomorrow if you choose to. That's a decision you have to make.
That might be the only way I can do it.
Secondly,
Lose
let's address the second item. Do you want to give us,
Second item, gray
as far as
water?
being the trash?
Oh, the trash. So
We
I
had
did
open
let
burning
Mr.
complaints
Montgomery
out there.
know.
Commissioner
that-
Candelaria, I would interject and state that this public hearing is really for the OWTS possible violations, and that's on-site wastewater treatment system. And so the specific remedies that the board could levy in a hearing like this are issue a cease and desist letter for the on-site wastewater treatment system, or also possibly assess fines up to $50 a day, depending on the seriousness of the violation, what I understood from the board's discussion was that the board is considering not assessing any cease and desist letter or fines today, but rather moving that potential consequences out. Sounded like you guys were discussing October, but that's really the scope of the public hearing that we're set for, are those issues.
Okay.
Yeah, $50 a day, I mean, I don't think I can make
So,
money that
so we
fast.
didn't put that on the table yet. We really are trying to work here with you because we're trying to get this property cleaned up for the entire community.
We've got
So-
some plans for cleaning the property up already.
Real quick, Commissioner, if you guys are gonna set a month of October, you probably ought to actually set a date, time certain, as you would say, when it needs to be done. As far as the secondary aspect, if Mr. Montgomery will just hang out for 5 minutes, I'll address that in my report.
And I'm okay with making it October 1st, so
Yeah.
anything prior to that, it's October 1st. Doesn't matter what day it's on, it's October 1st, because again, we're really showing that we're trying to work with you to get this resolved, and resolved specifically for the health and welfare of the entire community. It's not, this is not just about you, it's about everybody that's around you.
It's my first good investment, and I'm afraid of losing it.
So,
So much going on.
I, comments?
Build a barn, I don't know what.
I agree. We need to set a timeline, making sure it gets done.
Are you willing to accept October? We're
Yes.
giving him basically through the summer months and before we get into fall.
October 1 for completion,
Yep.
progress in 90 days.
Yep.
I would put that in the form of a motion. The progress would include an inspection and possible permitting if it's required by the inspector.
Along with the RIF has to be paid.
Yes.
Second.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to, not levy any fines to the current property at CC and 491 under Mr. Montgomery's name, but we will, expect progress within 90 days and completion of the OWTS by October 1st, along with the RIF to be paid and all of the fees associated with the OWTS.
Mr. Montgomery, I can provide you with a list of the engineers in the area, as well as LePue's contact information, so that you can get your system inspected.
So I need to vote on this. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So I just want to make it very clear, sir, that you need to work with public health, work with planning. They have some opportunities to give to you to get these things cleaned up. They'll give you a list of engineers you can choose from. You can make the phone calls and pick whoever you want. If we see you back in here October 1st, it will probably be something totally different. So I do recommend that you provide the, in 90 days of progress. And you can just do that to the Public Health Department. All right, is there anything else?
Just
that I need
as
to-
far as making clear the date and time, so this would be October 1st, which is a Thursday at 9:30?
That's fine. Anything else you need to add?
Nope, that's it.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Anything else, Commissioner?
No.
Okay, again,
I have all this printed for me before I leave here, so when I go home, I can show
yeah,
people
just,
what I do.
she can write.
I'll do a
something out
summary.
for you.
Maybe I can get people on track at home and make things happen, instead of having nothing but late payments all the time, where I gotta sell my car and everything else. I love it when people tell me I don't pay bills. You know, I make an agreement with somebody for $500 a month, for instance, you know, give me 200 this month, 200 next month, and then they tell me that, Delbert, you didn't pay on the bills, you didn't help us. Yeah, we paid all the balances constantly.
Yeah.
Who's the one,
So,
who's the one paying this month who has no job when I haven't received a penny from them? It's always just, I never wanted to rent it. I'm just trying to figure out how to get through this without a license.
yeah. Okay. So we've made our determination for the day. Get with Ms. Hill. She will summarize it for you and put it forward to something that you have documentation and understand. And again, we are working with you because we really want this place cleaned up, and we will be following it. So I wish you good luck. Thank you all.
Thank you.
So I will close the Board of, or,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Move to adjourn the Montezuma County Board of Health.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn the Board of Health. All right. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Montgomery.
And Mr. Montgomery, if you just want to have a seat, I want to give my report and kind of figure out a path forward.
All right, we'll reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners now. We will be going to our administrator's report.
Okay, Commissioners, just to jump in on that real quick, the county has reached out to a contracting company for dumpsters, a large 40 cubic yard dumpster. The county is willing to provide that dumpster to Mr. Montgomery at no charge for 2 weeks. We'll pick up the cost as well as the tipping fees to assist the neighbors in cleaning up that property. Mr. Montgomery will have to do that work on his own. The county's not going to provide funding for labor. So hopefully, and we thank Ms. Hill for being the intermediary and helping us out with this so far. So we just needed a time. We can deliver the dumpster tomorrow, a time that we can have that delivered and he can start in on the property.
So I tried to get Mr. Montgomery to not leave, but he's upset. Sure. But, I'm thinking, like, we did our site visit at 9:30 and he was ready and waiting for us.
So if we had it there about 10-ish, if we
Yeah.
can get it
Yeah,
about
I think
10-ish?
that would be a good time.
Is he agreeable to having that?
He is, and he's
Okay.
excited about it.
Okay.
So
Good.
he was pleased to have it, so I think it's a good, thing for him to have as a resource. So thank you for doing that.
All right.
So that was part one. Part two, briefly met with the assessors this last week on,
Thank you, Linda.
thank you, on property tax changes that are coming down from the state. More to come on that. Kind of gave you a brief summary on it, but we don't want to let out exact figures yet because we do not know. So, Road and Bridge, spent a lot of time with Road and Bridge. We're having weekly meetings with them. We created a promotional format that was actually measurable. All the foremen was involved in that testing process. They were the ones that drove the cart. They made a decision on who the next foreman was going to be based upon the testing requirements. We're currently evaluating their training and equipment needs. We're having constant communication with them. Like I said, we're meeting weekly with them. We're working on some of their technology aspects, updating job descriptions, and additionally, we'll be purchasing a new tilt trailer because the one that they have now is insufficient. So we've got a cost for a tilt trailer. It's about $9,500 thereabouts, and so we're going to be purchasing that. And additionally, still evaluating some of their equipment needs. We've also purchased some protective equipment for them, or will be purchasing that. So that's been my week, and then a couple of days I was unavailable due to sickness. And then the last thing that I have, gentlemen, is the payables. So the grand total is $2,954,559.31.
I move to approve the payables for December 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, an amount of $2,954,559.31.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the payables for December for Montezuma County in the amount of $2,954,559.31. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That it? Yes, sir. Okay. All right, very good. Ms. Kim, do you have anything?
So just wanted to let you guys know, conference was pretty intense with the new motor vehicle stuff coming up. And remind the public that we will be closed to motor vehicle customers on February 16th for our changeover. It's gonna be a lot of fun new stuff for us to learn, and we're working on it. But February 16th, we will be closed for motor vehicle customers, so.
With that, is there any kind of increase in fees coming on board?
It's not an increase in fees, it's just an update to the system.
Okay.
Now, legislation is starting, so.
Yeah,
So, but,
in case I got a call or two.
yeah, I have not heard of any kind of an increase in fees.
Okay.
so.
All right, very good. Well, Commissioner, since you're speaking, we'll let you keep going.
Not much to report. City Council tonight, if you'd like to spend a pleasant evening in a comfortable chair, come on out. City of Cortez building. I don't know how many applicants they have for City Council, but I do know there's 5 seats up for election. Please participate in that election. It's necessary that you vote. Other than that, just a thank you to Travis and to Jim for taking part with the road department. If we all go out there, we've got to post a public meeting and host public stuff, and so they've taken it on. And I have definitely seen a change in attitude in the road department. So I'm real positive that things are turning around out there, and these guys are coming to life. So that's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Copenhaver.
This past weekend, we had our annual MVI shareholders meeting out at the Areola Community Center. Fairly good attendance, not as high as usual, but it's fairly good attendance. Got the business done for that this year. Heading up to Water Congress later today in Denver. See what's other feelings about what's going on with the Colorado River. They have all the governors back in Washington, D.C. this Friday, I think, for a meeting about this, trying to work something out between the 7 states, because it's just at a deadlock. So I don't know what that's going to actually entail. I'm not sure. I'm not sure Mr. Polis is a person we should have representing us, since he hates agriculture. I don't know how else to put it. I don't know. I don't know. I better shut up. That's all I got.
Okay.
Idiot.
So kind of to echo where Travis left off, we did meet again with the road department yesterday, where we're having our weekly meetings. And I just got to tell you, it's exciting to watch these guys now get their input, let them help with the decisions that are being made. It's exciting. You can see the enthusiasm that they have and how they're moving forward. We will be posting this on their website shortly, because we do have to approve these and post them. But it will be the chip seal project for this year, and it will be at a minimum 14 miles, and if we can squeeze out the funds, maybe up to 18 miles of chip seal. They do, and again, they've delineated these roads for us, so they've picked the worst of the worst, and we're going to actually get traffic counts on them so that we actually have verification that they are the highest traffic counts that we have left to do. That will be coming, but most of these are gonna be south, they're gonna be on G Road, 25 Road, to H, so it ties in that whole lower valley that we, paved about 5-6 years ago, and this will give us that coat over the top of it. A lot of progress is being made as far as our distributor for placing our mag chloride, and pretty excited about watching those guys put together their new bars, their nozzles, and getting everything so that the application rates are actually appropriate, and we're not just broadcasting it and wasting it. So they're doing a good job. Travis did kind of allude to this a little bit. We're getting more PPE for them. They did have an accident, but it was very minor, and we will take care of that and address that. But again, a lot of enthusiasm out there, and it's super exciting to see a young group, relatively new, and they're moving forward. The tilt deck trailer that we're purchasing is basically for the skid steers, the smaller equipment, so they can load it safer, more efficient, and they can get down the road quicker to get the job done that they have to do. So, again, can't say enough for those guys. They're doing a great job, and I really like to see the enthusiasm. We did host Congressman Hurd last night. He was just a little bit late leaving the airport, so he was about 15 minutes late arriving here in our boardroom. Great conversation. We did have 5 bullet points that we specifically wanted to go over, and he touched on all of them with the city of Cortez, with their needs along with our needs, specifically to our EAS, our Essential Air Service, sorry. Not talking in acronyms again. And then our proposed NCA, our National Conservation Area, and more to come on that. So, good meeting last night. If you weren't here, we did not record that meeting. That was just a more like the coffee with the county. We did not put that one out. The boardroom was probably 2/3 full, so pretty well attended. We did have a meeting this morning at 7 o'clock as it relates to our regionalization with Health and Human Services, and from the group of commissioners and directors that were on the call this morning, the state definitely is going down the path of regionalization, and now we have to just figure out as how do we attack this? Are we going to be the hub? Is the Plata County going to be the hub? Those are conversations that we have to have, and then our social services director here will be helping us navigate that with what we think it's going to be as far as a cost for the county. The state has basically stated that they are going to fund the software programs for Health and Human Services, but you know that with the legislative process right now starting, we'll see if that actually comes to fruition, because that's the first thing that has to be fixed. But there are changes coming. I do see the hubs coming. I do see the regionalization coming, and now we just have to figure out what it's going to cost us as a county. Right now the split's typically 80-20, but the real conversation is probably looking in reality more of a 50-50 split, which is just another consideration that we have to have of a funding mechanism for that. With that, I believe that's all that I have. We have no need for an executive session.
No need for an executive session today.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn this January 27th, 2026 meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.